up, it's Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about all the books that I hope to read in June. So in June, I'll be participating in Whatever-a-thon, which was a readathon created by Book Browsing over on Twitter and BookTube. And this is basically a readathon where you just read whatever you want. So it's really competitive, and I'll definitely leave the link below so you can check that out if you don't already know about it. But basically you just kind of read whatever you want and try to make that book fit as many prompts as possible. There's teams. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to participate. So without further ado, let's just jump right into those books. First up is a book that I've actually been reading for about 3 months now, and that is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I am enjoying this, but I've been in a reading slump when it comes to physical reads, so I've kind of been picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, so I'm only about halfway through. If I don't get it finished this month, I'll probably just end up DNFing it. It's taking way too long for me to get through. It's never taken me this long to read a book before. This book is set in present-day New York, but it follows ancient Greek gods. So every 7 years, there is this kind of trial where the Greek gods have to come and become mortal as like a punishment for something they did to Zeus long ago. There are these families that are descended from the Greek heroes, and those families go and they try to hunt the gods while they're mortal and take over their power and all that. So our main character, Lore, is the last of her family line, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. She's lost all these people because of it, so she tries to break away from that life when Athena shows up at her door and asks for her help in avenging her family. Basically, she can't help but agree. So far, it is really interesting, and it was my #1 most anticipated release for this year, so I'm still really hoping to love and enjoy it. This book is going to fit the prompt for book hauled in the past year. Next up is A Pho Love Story by Lone Lay. This book follows the 2 children of rival Vietnamese restaurants that are right across the street from each other, and they have a chance meeting and kind of start to form a friendship that leads into a relationship, but it's like super against their parents' rules. They don't want them to associate with that other family at all. And the characters have really fallen in love with each other, and they want to figure out how to make it work, but they aren't sure how they're supposed to make it work and keep their parents happy and have like a functioning family life and all of that. I think this book is going to be loaded with food, culture, and probably a really cute Romeo and Juliet type romance. This book will fit the prompt for a debut author and person of color representation. Something else I didn't talk about with the Whatever-a-thon is the point of it is to fit prompts with each book. So some of these prompts will be repeated multiple times throughout all these books. The goal is to get up to 3 prompts for each book. Sometimes I only have 1 or 2, but they will be repeated sometimes. So if you notice that, that is because I am just trying to make them fit whatever I possibly can. Next, we have This Chunky Boy, Which is Steeped in Gold by Cianan Smart. So Jasmine is the daughter of a queen who kills off her children in order to absorb their power. Jasmine's sister has already been sacrificed, and she doesn't plan on being next. Jasmine recruits the help of Irea, who is a prisoner in her kingdom, and they are definitely enemies, but they have a common goal, and that is to overthrow the monarch. They do not want Jasmine's mother to be in power anymore. She's very tyrannical, I'm thinking. And they work together to fight this common goal. There's magic, witches. This is also a Jamaican-inspired world, so I'm really excited to see the culture there. And this book is going to fit the prompt for the team genre, which is high fantasy. I am on the epic and high fantasy team because that's like my favorite genre for the most part. It will also fit debut author and person of color representation. Next is a book I feel like I've been talking about quite a lot recently. It is also the June book club pick that me, my mom, and my friend have, and that is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So Avery is just trying to survive school, survive in life. She's not very well off. One day, completely out of the blue, she inherits billions of dollars and a massive mansion. What she doesn't know is why. So she goes to the mansion to live, and there are 4 young men there, and they are the grandsons of this billionaire. They're all trying to figure out, why was she left everything? Why were they left nothing? Why was she chosen? Because to her knowledge, she has no relation to this guy. So they're all going around the house looking for clues, because that's something the grandpa did. He just left clues all the time for stuff. So they're looking for clues, trying to figure out why she was chosen. And I think that I've heard it has a spicy romance, and I've heard it like related to the game Clue. So overall, it just sounds like a ton of fun, and I definitely can't wait to jump into this one. This book fits 2 prompts, the buddy read prompt and a 5-star prediction prompt. Next we have The Best We Could Do by Thi Bui. This is a graphic novel memoir following Thi's family and her escape from Vietnam and her immigration to America, and she comes with her whole family, but she also has a child, so this also follows her motherhood story and just all of the struggles with being an immigrant, being a new mother, dealing with her child, her parents, just the whole circle of like family struggles and life. This seems like it's going to be a really heavy read. Not only am I going to be reading about her story, but it's going to be visualized as well. And I feel like that's going to add a lot extra to the story, and it's really going to maybe touch me a bit more. And I know that there's going to be tons of struggles with everything that she's going through, immigrated here from a country that she's basically fleeing. So I think this is going to be a little bit of a emotional read. This book will cover person of color representation and an out of your comfort zone book. For me, graphic novels are not something that I read a lot, maybe a few a year, so this is kind of out of my comfort zone, and I'm just gonna make it fit. Next up, we have Fable by Adeline Young. Fable is the daughter of a very notorious pirate, smuggler person, and she has spent her entire life at sea. When her mother is thrown overboard accidentally and drowns, her father doesn't want to have anything to do with her anymore, so he drops her off at this island that is filled with thieves and wild men, and he just leaves her there. So she always wanted to grow up to rule the seas, basically take over for her father, join his crew, and eventually become like captain, I guess. And so she's definitely not happy with what he's done. Her goal is to get off of this island and seek revenge. She meets another pirate person, I believe. I don't know if he's a pirate or something else, but she meets a young man named West, and she teams up with him to get revenge on her father and claim her rightful place. I really enjoy Young's writing, and I suspect that this is going to be a really fun pirate-type book. I think that it's probably going to have a cute romance and probably, hopefully, some morally gray characters. This book actually fits 3 of the prompts, and that is it being a high fantasy, so it fits the team genre. It is a 5-star prediction, and I have hauled this in the past year. Next up is the only book that I don't have a physical copy of. I'll be reading on my Kindle, and that is Bonecryer's Moon by Catherine Purdy. As a Bonecryer, Elise has been taught her entire life that she will one day ferry the souls of the dead to their afterlife, whether it be a good place, bad place. But to do that, she knows that she will have to one day sacrifice her true love. Since she is supposed to be the one taking over for the Bonecryers, one day she will be their leader, she knows how important it is for her to find her true love and basically kill him to gain her powers. When she finds him, I think that it is not going to go as planned. She's probably going to end up falling for him, but then in the end having to make a really big choice, whether to go with her duty to her family and her clan, or go with her true love. I'm also guessing we're probably going to have like an enemies to lovers type thing, because it says in the synopsis that Bastian's father was killed by Bonecryers. So I'm thinking that he is going to be like wanting to hunt her, she's going to want to hunt him. This book is a high fantasy, so it does fit the team genre as well as the poll pick. I put this on Twitter with a few other books, and this is the one that won out. And finally, it fits a TBR game prompt. So Becca in the Books does her Becca's Bookopoly, and she landed on a fantasy, so this one covers it. It actually will fit a couple other ones, but I'm only going to list it for like the ones that I can't get 3 on. The next book I'm hoping to get to in June is These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is another one that I feel like I've been talking quite a bit about recently because I've been wanting to read it for quite a while. So this is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in the 1920s in Shanghai. Romeo and Juliet used to be friends, but now they are rivals. I think there was some sort of betrayal, and now their gangs are rivals. They are constantly fighting. There's a lot of bloodshed, but when the demons appear and start causing a lot more bloodshed, a lot more havoc in the city, they decide to team up. So Romeo and Juliet are going to work together to try to stop the demons and save not only both of their gangs respectively, but the entire city from these demons. So this sounds super cool to me. I have never read a Romeo and Juliet retelling specifically. I've read books that have the overall vibe, but this one is literally a retelling, and I'm really excited for it because of the setting, the 20s, and Shanghai. I've never read a book set specifically in Shanghai, so I'm hoping to see a lot of the history and culture there. This fits the team color, which is black. It fits a person of color representation prompt, and this is Chloe Gong's debut book, so this fits the debut author prompt as well. We are down to the final two books. This one is Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulet. Donis is the biracial, unenrolled Ojibwe tribe member who doesn't fit in anywhere, and when she one day witnesses a murder, the police ask her to go undercover to continue their investigation, and she agrees to do it, but she has her own motives. She wants to figure out what's going on herself. She's going to use her knowledge of chemistry and traditional medicine to figure out what's going on and why these killings are happening. She's going to have probably a lot of self-discovery. It made it seem as though she's not really in connection with her native people or the native side of her life. So I think that this will introduce her more to her Ojibwe heritage, and hopefully it introduces us to a lot of it too, because I'd love to see that. I'm really happy to have a book following Native Indigenous people because I don't think I've ever read one, hardly ever heard about them, so I'm super happy to see this representation. This book is going to fit the prompt for author's debut book and person of color representation. And last but not least is Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. When Enchanted wakes up with blood all over her and has no recollection of the night before, she's definitely confused, definitely wants to know what's going on. But so does everybody else. Her boyfriend and ticket to stardom, Corey, has been murdered. He found her at an audition, I believe, and he's like an R&B music producer, so he is helping elevate her career, and they meet, they form a connection. I believe this book is going to be set in the past leading up to the murder of Corey. We are going to find out about his and Enchanted's relationship, where they started, where they're ending, and why. So from the synopsis, I get the vibe that Corey is not the greatest boyfriend. He is very controlling, and I believe he is at least emotionally abusive, if not physical as well. It says he has anger issues, and when she doesn't do something he likes, he definitely gets angry. Again, I think this is going to touch on a lot of tough topics, the biggest of which being domestic violence, which I do not think is discussed enough in young adult literature where it should be, because it is something that occurs more often than people think, and it can again occur to males and females. So I just feel like it's something that young adult targeting books should try to discuss. Hopefully that would help young adults learn what domestic violence looks like, just because this one might not be physical, I don't know, but emotional abuse is domestic violence as well, and I feel like it's really important for young adults to realize that the things they say to each other, like in high school and stuff, the things that people would say to each other, they matter. I just think it's going to be tough but enjoyable and enlightening. This book is going to fit the prompt for pride flag. The cover looks like a pride flag. I am saying that I think this looks like the intersex pride flag because of the yellow, the circle. I know that the circle is supposed to be purple, but with the yellow color and the circle kind of in the middle, it just gave me that vibe, and we are supposed to kind of get these prompts to work in our favor, so I'm just going to go with it. So there are the 10 books that I really hope to read this June. Some of them I've been talking about for too long to have not read them yet, so I'm not really sure what my priorities are. Every book on this list has me either intrigued, excited, or I don't know, some of them just feel necessary, like I just need to read them now. And I really don't know why, but I am definitely excited to read these books this month. I would love to hear what books you plan to read in June. So definitely leave comments below on the books that you hope to read, or if you're participating in whatever-a-thon. I'd love to know what team you're going to be on, and if we're going to be competitors or teammates. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and or hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated, and I will see you in my next video.